Welcome, welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday morning, or Sunday evening, or Monday morning, wherever you're at in the world. So grateful to be here on this windy Sunday morning in Colorado. We're supposed to get down to under freezing tonight, so there's a storm coming in. But it's nice and blue skies and sunny right now, but it should change overnight. So a chance of snow. I'm excited. So welcome, everybody. Happy Scorpio season. Let me post here. Did have a video post this morning, which is a pick a card with 5 different pick a cards that everyone can choose from. And then there's also a bonus Scorpio Sun Baby reading for those that are Scorpio Suns. So blessings, blessings, blessings. So thank you guys all for being here. I would like to start off just sending love out to the world. So if you'd like to join me, we're just going to take some deep breaths. Just come back to this moment. Just let that energy, that beautiful, beautiful, unconditional love energy flow down into our hearts and fill it up. Fill us up and overflow out to the world, letting it do whatever it wants to do. And to any of you that need love today, any type of healing, thank you, thank you, thank you. Many blessings to everyone. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, what a beautiful ability we have to choose to flood our body and our being and fill up and flow out to the world. Because when we choose love, our vibration goes higher and it counteracts so many hundreds of thousands of other individuals who are choosing just some lower vibrational energy, that which is related to fear. And that's why love conquers all. Love is the answer to every question, because love does transform energy. It does transform lives. So as much as you can, give love, 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 love as much as you can today. So many blessings to everybody and welcome. Let me go ahead. I'm going to pop out the chat here so I can see everything. And let me just make this smaller. There we go. And greetings. Hope everyone's having an amazing, amazing day today. Hey, self-love and Leo, Angelina, Anjali, Liliana. Hello, hello. Hey, Jazz, Strawberry Rose, Mishra, Aditi, and Kay, Pompey, Erica. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and just letting your love help fill up the chat room as we dive in and pull cards for beautiful messages of love from above. So I'm going to start off and just use this beautiful feather to open our minds to higher things, open our third eye to higher things, open our eyes to higher things, open our ears to higher things, open our actions to higher things, open our speech to higher things, bodies, our soul to higher things. All right, we are ready. Hey, Lilia, welcome, welcome. So we will dive in and see what is going on in the spirit world today. Again, thank you guys already for the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys so much. It really does help out my channel. My subscribers are getting larger and larger, which does help the messages get out to the world. And so thank you so much for subscribing, for all the likes, watching videos, sharing videos. All of those things do help spread the love. So thank you. Thank you. right? Self love. We are starting with you, and what a great place to start. Let's start with our own self love today and our beautiful friend's self love in the chat. And you want to know about the blessings coming with the new year. I know, right? 2023 is not too far away. So let's see what's in store for you, what they'd like you to know for next year. Very nice. Well, you are going to be having a very new start in this new year. Hey, Rolling Stone Babe and Aurora, welcome. So you start off here with the Hanged Man. So you are seeing things from a different perspective, a higher perspective next year. And where you have been feeling like you're on this kind of waiting period, like you just kind of been hanging around and like the butterfly, the caterpillar being in the cocoon. You've been doing that. But next year, wow, because you have the full card, which is all about endings of old cycles, new beginnings coming in. So you have new adventure coming in 2023. Because not only do you have that, you also have the Ace of Wands. So new beginnings, new energy, new passion, new drive, new creativity. Your energy is just, and so with that full card and an ace, that is definitely newness, new beginnings, and that being energy with wands, even more so. And if that wasn't enough, you have the Ace of Pentacles, another ace, which Ace of Pentacles is new opportunities that are opening up in the outside world. So your 2023 is very, very bright. Let's see, can you tell us like what area of the life the new beginnings are going to be in? Let's see what we got here. Okay. 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 So you will have emotional new starts, which is great, right? Because you have both the Spirit of Cups, which is the King of Cups, and the Heart of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups. So, you know, I know I'm going to be silly today. I can just tell it's this the kind of winterish feeling for me. It makes me really hyper. So I'm forewarning you guys. But so you got both the divine masculine, divine feminine coming in here. So you definitely, if you're currently in a relationship, it'll be heightened love, and if you're not, then you do have this new beginning in love coming. And then the other is your energy. Three wands cards. You got the Eight of Wands, which is a huge amount of energy coming in for you there. And then you have the Spirit of Wands, which is the King of Wands. And then you have the Ten of Wands. And usually this could represent like burden, but this for you, because of all your other cards, this represents not only an ending and a new beginning of what you're doing with your energy, because you did have the Ace of Wands there, right? But this is also harvest. Like this, you by the end of the year, you just have all this where you planted the seeds, you invested the energy, um, it grew, and then you harvested it, and you have all that abundance that's coming into. So, wow, quite an amazing 2023 that you have coming in. So, definitely something beautiful to look forward to in a lot of ways. So, I am liking that for you. Hopefully, you like it too. I'm sure you do. I mean, who wouldn't want that? It's like whoosh a sham. So, love it. All right. So that's what they'd like you to know right now. Self love. So many blessings to you. And then, Leo, you'd like a general for the month of November. So I do want to move over to the good tarot and let's see what's going on there. And then Angelina, you will be next. And then Angelique. So let's take a look here for you, Leo 1111. What would they like you to know about November? No. So you got the patience card here. I know. What a way to start off. And that's all right, because you also have the hanged man. So not only do you have patience and balance, you also have patience and balance. So November is a month just to go with the flow, enjoy the moments, try not to rush to the end of it. Um, and I can understand that. I mean, you have the 10 of air here, which is the 10 of swords in the standard tarot, which does mean that you are kind of tired of expectations. You're tired of, like, exhausted from trying to live up to everyone's supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos and must, all those things going on in the mind. You're just like, I'm done. I'm ready. That 10 is endings and new beginnings around that. So, this patience and this trusting the divine timing is great because it shows that you're letting go of this rushing to these outcomes, that you're like, you know what? I'm going to come back to the here and now, and all this attachment to the when, I can be happy when, and all this stuff that has to happen for me to be lovable and acceptable and happy. Screw it. I'm going to be choose to be happy for no reason at all. And I'm going to enjoy this moment and forget about rush, rush, rush and movement, movement to the future, right? And then you get all your energy because you have the Queen of Fire, the Queen of Wands, which shows you getting a hold of your magic wand, that wherever you point it is what grows and expands. And the Queen of Wands has this energy that she just walks into a room and catches the attention because of her confidence and her brightness, but she also can super focus her energy and get stuff done. And I feel like with getting rid of all those expectations and all this energy you're investing in the future and judging the past, because you have to know if you're lovable or not, because you're just so tired of all those expectations, you just clear them out and you bring all that energy comes back to you. And then you're like, now what do I want right here, right now? And then you focus that energy and you start making movement and heading in directions. Now, the Queen of Fire also has an amazing connection to the spirit world because she not only rules over fire, which is your energy and your spiritual energy, but she also is half water. She's given, you know, all the queens are given a half, like they're a portion of water. So she's like half fire, half water. And water, of course, connects you to your emotions, connects you to your intuition, your gut instinct, and to the spirit world. So, with this getting rid of so much expectations and all this thought and all that stuff, you are connecting and uh, understanding what you want and your emotions and what your dream is, and you're making movement towards that. So that is what you have your opportunity for November. So I am loving that for you. And that is your general reading right now for November, Leo. Many blessings to you. All right, Angelina, you'll be up next. Let me just take a quick sip of coffee here. Cheers to everyone. All right. So, Angelina, you want to know any blessings coming to you for the rest of the year? All right, let's see what I would like you to know about your blessings for the rest of the year. Anything else? Let's see what we've got going on here. So you do have the Eight of Fire, which is the Eight of Wands in the standard tarot. So you've got a lot of energy coming in. And this can also be communication, but from spirit, from the spirit world. So I feel like you are going to be getting a lot of synchronicities. You're going to be seeing, if you pay attention, you'll see all of these signs of your loved ones from the other side, your ancestors, your guides, your angels, just all those beautiful beings of unconditional love and light from the other side. Whether it's a bumper sticker, a license plate, a song, a conversation you're overhearing, a weird junk email with a title, you're just going to have a lot of this stuff that's going to be coming over the rest of the year. Just as you think about, you might even have like thoughts that'll drop in, like you're not even thinking about a loved one who's passed, like a grandma or grandpa, just an individual that you really cared about, and you're just doing something and all of a sudden you have a memory pop in. Well, that's them going, hey, I'm here, just saying hello, I love you, you're not alone. So really pay attention to that for the rest of the year here. Yeah. Yeah, the queen of water. So as I was just talking about, not only does she rule over water, but she gets another portion of water. So very much in tune with intuition. It's much like the high priestess who goes into her temple, connects to the higher realm. So I feel like your intuition is going to be just amplified and on point the rest of this year. Yeah. And if we had any doubt, you got the judgment card, which is all about your higher self calling you to this deeper relationship. So the spirit realm is just wanting you to have for the rest of the year, they want you to have this kind of party with them. They're inviting you to just interact with them, have fun with them, um, just ask them questions, see what they'll bring to you, and show you how much they care and how much they want to speak with you. Because they're reminding me when I was open up to my spirituality, I'd ask a question. I'd be like, so what about blah 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 blah, and then like the next day at work somebody would come up to me and go, you know what, I saw this and it's like this pamphlet with this thing, and I just thought, I don't know why, I thought you might be interested, and they'd hand it to me, and within it is the question I was asking. That's the kind of interaction that you can have with them the rest of this year. They really are like wanting so much to speak with you. And you have the 7 of fire here too, which really is them saying that you're being brought to the top of the mountain here. So don't worry about everyone else that is going through stuff the rest of the year. People that are like, why are you so happy? Come back down here and be miserable with the rest of us. You don't have to worry about defending them. Just realize that those people that come, into the rest of the year, they feel they're low and they're down here. So rather than feel like, that they're trying to push you down, just realize that they're trying to bring you down to where they feel they're at. And so you can be like, oh, and just have some compassion and go, boo 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 boo, come here, and just give them that love and have them do that, so you can bring them up, and so they don't feel so low. You have the energy and the capacity to help them rise a little bit. So that's what they would like you to know right now, Angelina. So many blessings to you. And we'll continue moving down the list. And Anjali, you are up next. And let's see who else has come in here since I started. Hey, Marie, welcome. Benita, Catherine, and is that Riti? Mandal, thank you. Welcome, welcome. And Janice, and hey, Spring, welcome, welcome. So glad you guys are all here. You can feel the love. All right, Anjali, so let's take a look here. So this Satish, you are just really, really enamored with them, aren't you? You ask about them a lot. Which I get it, when someone has your heart, or you're renting them a room in your heart, you want to know what's going on with them. You want to know if, they're going to pay the rent for being in your heart, right? So let's take a look here and see what Satish is thinking about you. See if they're changing at all in their approach here. And I kind of feel like it seems like what you get with him, because it's like these are all of his thoughts and beliefs and mindsets. He's exhausted. He's trying to live up to so many expectations in the outside world. Let's see what else we got here. But there is movement of emotion that's going on underneath, but feel like he's just so, yeah, there's joy, there's celebration. So again, this is emotion. He has this joy that's bubbling down underneath. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, but I just feel he's like so focused on the coin, the outside world, about security and abundance, and the Knight of the King of Pentacles just goes through this journey of all the pentacles, of course, and it's about self-worth. It's about relation of yourself to the outside world. And I just feel like there's this joy and this stuff going on underneath, but I feel like he's got all these expectations that he's trying to live up to, and like one of them is met, and then that's, I feel, where his joy is coming from, because I feel like his how it's like, you reach a goal and that just excites you and makes you want to invest more to move forward, like you're about to give up on all the stuff that's going on in the outside world, and you're just like, I feel like I'm spinning the wheels, and then it moved out a little bit, and then it makes you want to invest even more to go forward, because he's got his Knight of Swords here, which is all about movement in his brain and his thoughts, and he's pursuing understanding and knowledge in the outside world. But it just feels so focused on his worth as it's related to the outside world. So, it's like this huge, just so much mental energy about his worth and how it's related to the outside world, whether it's his job, education, where he's fitting in the social status, the even like where he's fitting in the pecking order at work, and it's like, I've got to be up here, I've got to beat out these other people, I've got to have that position, I've got to have that money, I've got to have that income to be able to have this, to be able to have that, because this means this about me, and blah 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 blah. That's what I feel like he's just exhausting himself over. And so, when he's like, what is his intentions towards you, I feel like um emotions and relationships are on the back burner, that he's like so focused on that he's like, I've got to do all that. This is very little energy I can invest in it right now, because he has so much going forward. Spirit is having you with the High Priestess here, that for you, while you're waiting, while you're you know semi patiently waiting for him to get his act together and get his priorities sorted out, they're having you like step back, go into the high temple, you going back, connecting higher. And while you're in this waiting room, like this is the message that's been going on, is while we're in the waiting room waiting for someone else to catch up to us in how we feel, we work on our own heart. We work on what's going on inside of us. That's what that High Priestess is. You go, you look behind your veil on what's going on, what desires you have, what emotions are coming up while you're waiting. Because the more you open up your heart, and the more you open up your self love, the more love you can receive from others, and the more love you can give. So while the outside world is on pause, that is what, that's why the outside world is on pause, because we wanted it that way. We're like going through, before we come down here, we look at our entire lives and go, all right, so at this point, I want you to hit pause, and I don't want this relationship and these things to move forward, because I want to do this self study, reflect back on myself, because I need to expand to be ready for the next thing. So if I'm not to that point yet, slow it down. And then the more we work on our inside, then it can speed back up. But if we don't, then it just draws out longer, without us working on the inside. And so it is happening for us. And just realize that Satish is on his own little individual journey that's going on with his self-worth and understanding where he fits in. And then right now it's the time for you to work on you, while you're waiting for things to speed back up. But the more you work on the inside, the faster it will speed back up. The sooner it'll speed back up. Otherwise, it just keeps dragging out. So that's what they have for you today, Anjali. Many blessings to you. All right, Liliana, I am doing good. I am, when you have these beautiful storms coming in, your eyes are very heavy, like you could take a nap, and that's how I feel right now. I could like fall asleep in front of you guys. But I got my coffee, which we're gonna have here. Thank you. And the more I read and channel, the more energy I get too. So my eyes will get bigger and bigger here. So you want to know, how does Ricardo view you? And then Jazz, you'll be next. So let's take a look here and see what is up with Ricardo. How does he view you? Hopefully it's not through your window. You're like, oh, no. Just jokes, just jokes. All right, let's see. Anything else? All right. So it's funny. Yeah, you're like, oops. So you got the sun and the moon. So you've got both night and day. And it's kind of like, he views you in two different ways. It's like, he sees you in one way and then he sees you in another, which is interesting. It's like, um, first he sees you as this beautiful brightness and energy and fire, um, and then you also are a reflection, because the moon reflects the sun, and you even have the sun represented here. And it's like, in some ways he's just like, wow, look at how bright and fiery you are, but then there's also all this mystery about you too. He's like, but there's just something that is behind that, that he doesn't, like, he feels like he doesn't see. Like, how someone is, you are showing who you are, but he's like, but there's more to her than she's showing everyone. And you're like, yeah, but you also, you have to earn that for you to show them that part. So he feels that, and he's just like, okay, but he's almost like, hesitant with it all, because he's like, I'm getting used to the sun, and that's a lot for me, because this is also how he sees you, as this Queen of Wands, right? I mean, you hold your power. Again, look at all the sun, all this brightness. I mean, that's kind of what the Queen of Wands is this really bright, fiery, powerful, has this confidence too, that just really shows themselves. But that, again, the black cat represents your connection to the higher realms, to that mystery, that mysteriousness. And they're just like, wow, there's something that I sense about her. So there is this, back and forth that he goes. He's just, I think he's getting used to how confident and powerful and strong that you are in your fire. And then, he knows there's more there, but he feels like he's hesitant. It's like, I don't know if he thinks that he can, yeah, if he thinks that he can handle the heat, that he can handle it. He's just like, and so he sees you, but I think, there's like this, I don't want to say, he doesn't have like a low self-esteem, but it's like people with low self-esteem are down here and he's here, but he sees you up here and he's like, I don't know. It's almost like kind of like he thinks like you're out of his league, or he doesn't want to compete with you in your fire. And maybe he's like a fire sign himself, like a Leo, where he, uh, wants attention and he wants to be in front, but you just walk into the room and you steal it away. And he's like, I don't know if I want to compete. It's like in some ways you guys are very similar with your fire, but you are like the sun and he's like the moon. He doesn't want to be a moon where he takes your reflection. He wants to be like a sun alongside. So that's where he's at right now. And don't it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't shine as bright. No, bull, poo poo caca. Be yourself. If they can't handle it, they don't deserve you. And that's what it is. Be you. And those who are brave enough to face the fire of the sun, they deserve to be in your orbit. Otherwise, psh, out. So that's what Spirit has for you. So there you go. Many blessings to Luliana. All right, Jazz, let's take a look here. Do you want to know, how does L feel about you? I'm going to switch up here to go back to the Naked Heart Tarot here, and then Strawberry Rose. You will be next, and then Mishra. We will take a look here. See what is going on. And then Aditi. All right. So, Jazz, how does L feel about you? What else? Okay. Well, you got the Spirit of Cups coming in here. Let's see if I can. There it goes. Which is the King of Cups. And so this is about emotion. This is balanced emotion, though, between heart and mind. You do have the Two of Cups here, too. So there is interest. There is this, connection of hearts that they have here. But the King of Cups, it's like I said, they have emotion. They're the water, but they also have the air. And so, rather than it being like double water where they're just emotion and they just follow their heart and move in, they're very calculated in their emotions. It's almost like an air sign that has water in their chart. They're just very cerebral, and they're like, this is how it's going to unfold. They have their beliefs, they have their ways, and they have their timetables, and they have how things unfold. So it's very calculated, very balanced. But you also have the Ace of Pentacles, which is new opportunities coming up. So I feel like whatever's going on with their feelings for you, that there's an opportunity that they want to get together, or you'll see them somewhere, and it's an opportunity for you to chat and just to help move the waters a little bit. So I feel like that there is something coming up here, whether it's some sort of holiday party. If you guys celebrate Halloween, it's like there's an opportunity to get together somewhere, or office party, or if there's a wedding or something where there's a get together and a gathering. I feel like there's a new opportunity where you guys will bump into each other, or they'll reach out to do that. Or, if you feel so inclined, you can invite them out and just check the waters and check and see what's going on. Just check the expectations at the door, enjoy the moment. Don't try to impress. Don't try to be someone that you're not, because that King of Cups, they don't have that. They want pure emotion and but a little bit of intellect to balanced emotion. They don't like want those extremes. And so it's like, yeah, I get it. Just go and enjoy the moment for what it is as it unfolds. So like they keep on saying, just check the expectations at the door with all that. So that's what they have for you right now, Jazz. So many blessings to you. Strawberry Rose. So you want to know, what is this Sagittarius J's energy right now towards you? So let's take a look here. See what they have going on. And then Mishra, you'll be next. We'll check in on that PhD. But for now, let's take a look at the Sagittarius and see what is their energy towards you right now. Well. So, you do have the Spirit of Pentacles, which is the King of Pentacles in the Standard Tarot. And so they are on this journey of their self-worth. They are checking in on how they relate themselves to the outside world. And, it feels like they are on that journey. Like they haven't um, reached the pinnacle of it. They're like still understanding how they relate themselves to their work and their career and their finances and their body and the other world and things that are going on. And but you do have the Lovers card here. So I do feel like there's emotional choices that are happening, and this is a consideration that part of what he's looking for in his life, because he's got both of these. Let me see if I can do it with less glare. There we go. So, beautiful cards. 10 of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. The Lover's card is about emotional choices. So there is this, presence of that energy within them around you. But there's also the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is the energy and, our power, intentions, and our passions and everything else. And the Nine of Wands is like there's this energy block. And the nines are about an inner journey. And here he is monkeying around with his inner energy, discovering what block that he has towards making movement. And I really feel like with this journey that he's on with that King of Pentacles, that it is this, you know, uh, review of what he wants in his life, what he's willing to do to get it, what is most important based on his past and things like that. And that's where I feel he's kind of in this, he's blocking himself from moving forward. It's almost like when you're doing heart surgery, you don't do it out in the middle of, a busy shopping mall. You do it in a very private, controlled, clean environment when you have your heart exposed, right? And I feel like that's what he's going through right now is this review, and you are on his mind and you are part of this process, but he's still figuring things out, and that's what's going on with him right now. So that's what they have for you right now, Strawberry Rose. So it's like, okay, the when and how long is this going to take, whatever, is always up to the individual how fast they're going through their stuff. And so it's up to us. Do we have the patience? Is it worth it for us or not? And we get to choose that. We can be like, psh, because what is meant for us won't pass us by. If we're like, well, you know what, I'm going to skip that bus. Well, we walk across the street and the bus comes back around and we're like, oh, hey, okay, I guess this is for me. And then we get on the bus. So just know whatever you decide will, work out. But it's up to you to decide what you want to do in this moment. If you want to wait, or do you want to, spend your energy living, outward and more, and not so much energy on, concerns with their energy towards you. Kind of like he's doing all his inner stuff. Again, whenever we're in our waiting period, we're in this waiting room that we just painted it with new paint. And the longer, if we just sit there, it takes longer for the paint to dry. But if there's movement, if we have movement in our heart, then there's movement. It's like having a fan going, it dries the paint faster. So if we do inner work, then the paint dries faster. If we don't, it just takes longer for it to all dry out, right? And be ready. So that is what they have for you right now, Strawberry Rose. Many blessings. All right. Devansha Mishra, your PhD, and how will your career go with your PhD? And will you get any help from that supervisor? Let's take a look here. I'm going to switch to the Radiant Rider Waite. And then a DT will be next, and K after that. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. So, how will the PhD career go? Okay. And then, will there be any help from your supervisor? We'll call him RR. Okay. We'll call them rest and relaxation, R and R. All right. All right. So you have the Tower card coming in here, which don't be scared by this. This is about this message from Spirit saying, just know that whatever is moved out of your life and moved into your life happens for you. It's not an accident. Things don't just, you know, happen and we're like, oops, Spirit tripped and unplugged something and spilt something on your life. Sorry, our bad. They're not that way. They are very much meticulous in bringing out the fated events and bringing things into your life and out of your life on purpose, for a purpose. So they're saying, be patient with that. Be patient as things come in and out, and really look at that viewpoint that things happen for you. Because you also have the Knight of Wands, which is a fast moving horse. It's one of the most, out of the four horses, it's the fastest because it's fire, it's energy, it's go, go, go. And so there is this energy coming, there is this movement, but you also this night quest for the Ace of Wands, which is about grasping your power and understanding it and knowing that wherever you invest that energy is what grows. So if you focus on your fears, those get bigger, but if you focus on gratitude for what you are grateful for that's happened in your life, and focus on what you do want to have come in your life, not what you don't want to be in your life or come in, because you're fearing it or anything that you feel is lacking. Don't focus on that unless you want it to grow. Instead, if you focus on, like I said, thankful for, what are you thankful for? Like if you're a supervisor, it's like the help I do get from them, I'm grateful for that. Focus on the gratitude for that, and then the help grows. And then focusing on what you are learning, what you are enjoying with your PhD and things like that. It's like, yes, it grows and it grows. But if it's fear and stress and all that you're focusing in on, John, that grows, because you do have the Queen of Pentacles, which is about Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. And they're saying, take care of you. You have new birth, you have new things. This is all about abundance, but make sure you take care of you and don't worry about everyone else. This is about you really bringing your desires, which you want in life, to the forefront, because you have the Three of Swords here, which is all about expectations. And they're bringing this in because they're saying, this is a fear that you've been focusing on. Like, who are you going to let down? Who are you going to disappoint? And these beliefs around, if you don't obtain certain things at certain levels and certain ways, and this long list of supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos around the PhD and everything else, that you just are like, what are people going to think? I've got to have these top scores. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Because if I don't, what are people going to think? And that's all those fears. And it's like, you know what? This is my life. It's like about you self-nurturing yourself. And that's what they're wanting you to look at that. Because when it comes down to, help from your supervisor, they're bringing back up this Two of Wands, which is wherever you focus your energy is what grows. And the Nine of Pentacles comes in here too, where this is you on your hermit's journey, turning inward to find your wholeness and completeness, not the outside world. And again, if you're focusing on your fears and what it means if people say something, do something, blah, 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 that's what grows, and that's um, giving your power to other people, like saying, my self-worth depends on what you think about me, instead of my self-worth depends on what I think of me, and what you think of me is none of my business. Actually, what you think of me tells me how you think about you, not about me at all, because I'm just a mirror. So if you're looking at me going, you're funny looking, well, you're pointing in the mirror, right? So they're, well, you're the one that's funny looking because I'm just a mirror, you know. And I love this power that's coming in for you here, because I feel like there's so much pressure that you have yourself under around other people's opinions and expectations, that this freedom comes for you when you focus on you and what you want, and finding your wholeness and your completeness from within. And that lady in the garden, that Nine of Pentacles, she's not alone. She has a bird on her finger or on her hand, which is spirit. It's your beautiful support team you have on the other side. You are never alone. You are never without support. You've got your ancestors, you've got your loved ones on the other side. You've got your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your angels, spirit itself, creator, source, whatever you believe, all those beings of unconditional love and light that are on the other side, they surround you 24/7. Even while you're passed out asleep, they're there giving you love, giving you guidance in your dreams, planning on what they're going to do the next day to open things up for you. And so when you focus more on gratitude, 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 that allows them to bring more things into your life that you can be grateful for. But when you're focusing on fears and failures or opinions of others, that just feeds those and makes those grow bigger and bigger, because you're giving them your energy. So I love this power that's coming in for you, Mishra. So many blessings for you. That's what they have for you today. All right, Aditi, you are up next. And there we go. Scroll, scroll, scroll. And you want to know any blessings and angel messages for you today. So let's take a look here. I do want to go to the Good Tarot. I'm just going to take a quick swig here. Let's see what they would like you to know. So blessings and angel messages for Aditi, please. Okay. Anything else? All right, let's see what they have here. So you do have the Empress coming in here. Beautiful, beautiful card here of new birth. Again, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. So there is this refreshment, this newness that's coming into your life. And they really want you to focus in on you and take care of you right now. You also have the Eight of Air, which would be the Eight of Swords in the Standard Tarot, which this is about you understanding more and more, like, what of your beliefs, like your mental beliefs and mindsets and your expectations, which of those have been making you feel, blinded and bound and trapped, and that you're looking over those and you're expanding because you're understanding what power that your thoughts have had over your life. And I feel like this nurturing is you reflecting, going, oh yeah, because you also have the Nine of Fire, which is the Nine of Wands in the Standard Tarot. And I love this one where you're seeing your energy, you're seeing your power, but the Nine of Fire is about you recognizing, it's like the Eight of Fire. I mean, the Eight of Feathers. What do they call them here? I'm sorry, Eight of Air. Sometimes they call them feathers. It's the Eight of Air. So it's the swords and the wands. The Nine of Wands is about this barrier, this blocks that you have, and that you have the Ace of Wands. One of your big Ace of Staves is in there, and you have your hand on it, and you're like, there's this block. I can't get through it. And it's like, well, if you take your power, it opens it up where you can walk through it. But while you're standing there, and if you feel like you haven't taken your power back, then that's why you feel there's a block. And the eight of air, the eight of swords, is allowing you to see what of your thoughts and your beliefs are what are limiting you and that are responsible for that block that you have, that you feel like there's this barrier you can't get beyond, either in relationships or job, money, body, whatever it might be, whatever this barrier is. You're understanding that. And so that's why the Empress is coming in, because they're having you reflect on you and nurture you and focus on you. So if you feel like that block is on the outside, like someone's blocking me, there's the universe is blocking me, someone is blocking me and keeping me from doing something, it's like, no, spirit's like having you look in here, because that is going to solve it. When our ego, our human, it doesn't want to be responsible for the things in our life, because we have this all or nothing belief that if we're responsible for something that's not working out in our lives, then we're a failure, and then we're unlovable and rejectable, and there's all this blah 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 that it, snowballs. And so it doesn't want us to take responsibility for things. But when we don't, we continue in the cycle, because we're trying to blame something outside of us that has no control over it. We're the ones that are controlling it. So until we're like, oh, I'm the one that has that power, and then we make the change, and then it stops. And so that's what, your guides and your angels are wanting you to know about this power that you have in your life, because then you can change it. And I know it's like in the beginning, you're like, oh, what? No, I can't be responsible for all that. No, please don't tell me I'm the one that's been doing this to myself. And they're like, yeah, but it also is empowering. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. I do have my power, and then it changes the rest of how you look at your life. So that's what they have for you, ADT. Many blessings to you. All right, Kay, let's take a look here. And you want to know how your twin flame feels towards you today. So our twin flame is like this, excuse me, special agent soulmate, right? That's bringing us mirrors. I love, there's an example. I was talking to a friend of mine who they actually do twin flame counseling. And because I was like, tell me about this twin flame. And they go, there's this kind of misconception that a twin flame is like our other part of our soul. Like I'm only half of a person without it. And it's like, that's not really what a twin flame is, because a twin flame, I mean, we're all mighty powerful suns. We're not a half of a sun. And so a twin flame is one that comes close to us, that, where other relationships, it's kind of like we get into a boxing ring with people in a relationship, and we're sparring and learning and growing and that type of thing. A twin flame, the way I was like, so this is what a twin flame is, how they have those fights where you're actually bound to each other, like like maybe your non-hitting hands are like bound, where you can't get away from each other. You are going to have to really, really work out all of that stuff, all those emotional lessons, everything that you wanted. It's like a master's class compared to just going to elementary school. It's like, wow. So when this twin flame, you're asking about them, um, I'm going to see what they say about that, with that intention of this mighty twin flame. But if they're not your twin flame, if they are like a soulmate, more like middle school than the master's class, that'll come out too. And we'll just see what they want to tell you about your relationships today. And then Pompey, you will be next. And then Erica. So let's take a look here. All right. Tell us about relationships with Kay. And is this person the twin flame, wonderful master's class journey? All right. So we'll find that out here. Let's see what these two are here. So you do have the Queen of Pentacles here, the Queen of Earth, which is about there's this new birthing, this again, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, kind of like I just had a reading that she came out with that is it is about this looking at yourself, looking at this new birth, looking at these things that are unfolding and coming out in your your uh, birthing of yourself, of your life, um, and there is some sensuality that comes in with the Queen of Earth, that as well. So, looking at this individual's, whether they're your twin flame or not, this individual that you have in your mind towards you, they see you as this nurturer, this sensual person, this, type of energy. And and sorry if you hear like rattling, there's these leaves are flying around against the window because there's like the wind is really windy out there. And then you have the Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands. And this is like, it almost feels like they see you up on a hill and they kind of feel they're down here. Like they're like, wow, you have a lot of fire and people recognize you. I wouldn't even doubt that you are a fire sign where it's like people notice you. People are like, wow. And like almost like you can't go anywhere without people recognizing you, bumping into someone because you just know people. But I feel like they kind of feel like, wow, she's popular and out there and up there, and I'm down here, which maybe they're an introvert and you're an extrovert. It's that kind of energy that I'm feeling, but they do see you in this way, and they're not like intimidated. They just they see you that way and they're just like, okay, that's who you are. Now when I asked, I'm like, is this your twin flame or is this someone else? You got the Three of Pentacles, which is all about being your authentic self. And this card comes in and it's usually there's like usually three people on the card, and two of the people, there's like one person that is like a dream buster, a naysayer that's always poking at you and blah 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 and rah 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 rah, right? And then there's another person that is like your supporter, someone who looks up to you, um, you know, is proud of what you're doing and has your back, right? But that person can almost be as more of a pulling you off your authentic path than the other person, because you don't want to lose that support. You don't want them to become one of those naysayers. And so the inner child in of us might alter our course not to lose theirs. But what I feel like with this is that the person who is always challenging you and rattling your cage and that would be more almost of a twin flame type of energy. We think like a twin flame is someone who's, oh, they draw and make me feel good and stuff. And it's quite the opposite. A twin flame comes in on fire to set fire to all you and challenge all your beliefs, bring up all the crud from your past to deal with. They're the ones that don't let you get away with anything. And that's kind of what I feel. And I feel like for this person that's on your mind, I feel like they're more of the, hey, you're great and everything and supportive. But I feel like they're not like the twin flame, because I feel like that individual would be someone who really gets under your skin and into your heart, and you can't help, like you can't get rid of them out of your life in a way. You're just like, I am tied to them, and I don't want them out of my life, but I don't want them in my life, and it's like almost like a love hate relationship. Whereas the other one's like, okay, yeah, you're making me feel good, and I want you to, make me feel loved. And the other one is like, no, you're going to love yourself if it kills you. And, it's kind of like that difference in there. So interesting reading there, Kay. I hope that resonates for you. But that is what they have for you today. So many blessings to you. Some days, I don't know, these messages that come through. So glad that resonated. All right. So Pompey, you want to know, how will you and Devin, how connection be after you have your son? Okay. And then Erica, we will look at you. And then Lilia will check on W next. Wow. It was like a tornado of leaves outside my window. Spirit is moving. Woo. I tell you, I get goofy around when I feel fall weather. I'm a winter baby, so I love winter and fall. All right, Pompey, let's take a look here. How will you and Devin's connection be after this one? Okay. So I'm going to bring in all three of the first cards that came out, and then you have two more. Because you do have this emotional wish fulfillment card. Let me just bring that up here. Which, it's interesting because I almost feel like when your son is born, there's this special bond, of course, that you're both gonna have with your son, but it brings in a different type of emotion for you. You feel this unconditional love with your child, and it takes the number one spot in your life, where it was before, it's like Devin might have been like the number one spot. But when your child is born, they get moved to number two. It's like, uh, if it was a choice between your child or them, you would take him out. It's like, no. And that's why I feel like this wish fulfillment, it's like you feel this unconditional love that you've been looking for. You just, something changes within you with it. And that's what I feel like with the Seven of Wands too. You just feel like you're elated and you're moved up, and it doesn't matter. It's like you wanted before them to be up here with you, but now you don't care if they're down here, and you don't really, it's like things change because you have your King of Wands here too, which is you gaining your power, and you feel just this energy change. I mean, because this is like you holding your Ace of Wands. You just feel empowered, and you feel empowered, after the birth. And so, I feel like there's this change that, it's like, how will your connection be? You're like, it's going to be different, but it's not going to matter as much to you as you think it will, or that it has in the past. Because look at this. After your new birth, the Empress, so after the birth, there's new opportunities in the outworld. Your outer world changes. And also the way you view your worth in relation to the outside world changes after the birth. And so there's just this whole switch within your heart, within your world, within everything. And you're like, you know what? Your world looks completely different through the eyes of motherhood, or parenthood. Yeah. Because you have the 10 of Pentacles too. You feel like your world is full and whole and complete in so many ways because of this. And you also, here's the family tree. This is the tree of life, which is the tree of life of the Kabbalah or Kabbalah. And I feel like you're breaking these chains, you're breaking these old ways of thinking and um, uh, you know, chains that were passed down from generation to generation. You're like, no, this is going to be different. I'm going to live a different life. I'm going to make sure my child has a different life than I did. And this is what I'm going to do. And you just have this brrr that comes up, and you just have this change in your energy. It's like, it just moves in and changes your entire life. So um, I just feel like it's going to be so different than anything that you've ever thought before. And it just changes. Your whole world just suddenly, you look into the eyes of your son and you're just like, everything is everything is perfect. And everything just falls into a different category in a different place for you. So I love that for you. All right, Pumpy, that's what they have for you right now. Hopefully that resonated for you. All right, Erica, let's take a look here. You want to know, will you reconcile with Aries? So let's see what they have to say there. Lilia, you'll be next for that second question. And Rolling Stone Babe, you'll be there after that. And thank you guys so much for your patience as I do work my way down the list in order. And of course, I can't rush spirit. They're going to take as long as they're going to take. And I know sometimes it feels like you're in line at a post office at Christmas time and you're like, I got packages to mail. When am I going to get up to the counter? But I appreciate your patience as I do make my way down there. All right. So let's take a look here and see, will you guys reconcile? We've got 3 cards of cups. And we'll start with this one, because this is about leaving behind emotions that no longer serve you. So I would say that this is no, that you are leaving behind these emotions. And this is you leaving behind emotions that no longer serve you. Because you have the 6 of Cups here, which the 6 of Cups can be about you are looking over and really doing some great work with your inner child and your old memories and painful memories and things. It also can mean someone from your past coming back too, in a positive way. I don't feel like this is like a, oh God, not them. It's like there's this memories that are rekindled in positive ways, because you also have the King of Cups, which represents a beautiful balance between heart and mind. That, and I feel like this is you, that even through choppy emotional waters, you're sitting fine and you're feeling confident and safe, and as you go through this. So I feel like it's you that is making this journey away from it all, because you have the Ace of Cups here, which the Ace of Cups, that is the chalice. It's the holy grail. It is full of the unconditional love of the higher realms. Those beautiful beings of unconditional love and light, creator, spirit, and your guardian angels and your, loved ones on the other side. You're just feeling this love that's coming up from the inside. And I feel the more that you connect with that, that's the more healing that you do in with your past memories too. Like that, especially that inner child reference there, of going back and understanding that every moment that we experience is either of unconditional love or of the fear of losing conditional love. And when we realize that every moment is that, when we go back and look at a memory that's not of unconditional love, we know it's of fear of losing conditional love. And when the human goes into fear, we flip out. We go out of our minds, literally, because when our little child self feels unsafe or out of control, it womp, 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 this alarm goes off and it pushes everything out of our head. All, and the blood actually even physically rushes out of our, a lot of it out of our brain, to go to our arms to fight, or to our feet to run, that fight or flight, and it doesn't do it in kind ways. It's the example I've been giving lately that spirit gave me is a cat. When you're holding a cat and a loud noise happens, it doesn't go, "Hey, put me down. I'm going to freak out and claw things right now." It's like, and it like tears up your skin as it rushes and tries to get away, and or fights, and that's what our human side does. It does this, extreme things that are not intelligent, not emotionally intelligent or loving. It's just in survival mode that it wants to feel safe and in control again. And when you go back and look at old emotions and old situations where we felt that prick in our heart, that fear that was going on, that pain, then we're like, oh, so I was in fear. I was acting out of my mind. They were in fear. They were acting out of their minds. And you stop taking situations as personal as you did because you realize it's like swimming out to save someone who's drowning and they're panicking, and then they whoop-ah, and hit you in the head because they're panicking, and you're like, oh my god, why did you hit me? And then they're like, oh, they grab onto you and pull you underwater because they're freaking out and they want to use you as like a life preserver raft. And then you're like, oh my god, why are you trying to kill me? You get a hold of them, you take them to shore, they calm down, and then they return back to their mind. So like, oh hey, I didn't know it was you, because they didn't. And that's when you go back and look at painful memories and things of the past. It can transform them, and we understand, oh, so this was not personal. They were just a freaked out cat that was doing things trying to feel safe again, and I just happened to be in the way between them and feeling safe. That's why they ran up and over me and had scars on me. And it's like, okay, now I get it. I start thinking of them differently. I start thinking of the situation differently, and I start thinking of myself differently. And I feel like that's what's happening with this is like I feel like you're okay with moving beyond as you do this reflection. You're like, I'm okay not reconciling with this Aries. I'm ready to move on to something that's more in alignment with who I want to be. And I don't have that same draw that I did before to them before. And I'm okay. And I feel like you are the one that's okay to move on. And even if they later are like, hey, I want to get back, you're like, thank you, appreciate it, but no thank you. So I feel like that's where you're headed. So that's what they have for you, Erica. Many blessings to you. All right, Lilia, let's take a look here and see what W feels for you. And then Rolling Stone Babe, you will be next. And then Aurora, 91. Many blessings to you as well. All right, Lilia, let's take a look here. What's W thinking of you here? Anything else? Let's see what we have. All right. So you have the Nine of Wands here and the Ace of Wands. And so with their feelings for you, I feel like there's this block that's there. And I feel like they don't realize that they're the ones that are holding the block here. Because here's that Ace of Wands and the Ace of Wands that's, being bound there. All this fire again that's coming in. And speaking of fire, I mean, you've got the tower and the star here, so look at the fire and this bright fire in the sky, and the Ace of Wands is fire and the Nine of Wands is fire. I feel like you just got a lot of energy around you that really um, is uh, is intimidating to these individuals. It's not that you are intimidating, it's that they are intimidated by fire. And it's just like they're just like, wow, and I feel like again, you don't need to ever withdraw your fire, withdraw your power, withdraw who you are. Because I feel like um, if you ever did, I'm trying to think of what movie it was. It's like, um, I don't know if it was one of those like Fantastic Four movies or it's somewhere where when you try to hide who you are, or maybe it was one of the X-Men movies, and it's someone that had very powerful energy, and um, and she like hid herself and kept herself small, but in when she let someone into her heart and a passionate moment happened, and it ends up hurting the other person because they oh, I forgot to stay small. And it's like you just want to be you and stay bright, you stay the starry bright shiny burning fiery you, because someone eventually that is able to um like they're fireproof, that's their mutant powers, that they're fireproof, then you can be yourself and they don't burn up, and I kind of feel like that's what is going on here, is like you're just like, you know what, I'm going to burn bright, and if people who come close and they get, they can't handle the heat, well, that's fine. Then that's kind of like the testing ground. Who this person is, that because they're able to handle the heat and come in close. And I kind of feel like that's what the message spirit has for you, is burn bright, baby, burn bright. And that fireproof individual is the one, and that's like, there they are. They're the ones that can handle it. And then you're like, thank you. So it's almost like this litmus test, this testing ground that they have. It's like, if you are worthy, you will pass the fire test, and that's what I like for you. So burn bright, baby, burn bright. So that's what they have for you right now. All right, Rolling Stone Babe, let's take a look here. All right, so you want to know what's going to happen with you and Jason. And thank you guys so much for all the thumbs up that you've given me on the video already. I really appreciate it. It truly helps out my channel, helps my videos get out to more people, and spreads the Zen love. So thank you all for who have done that. And if you haven't done so yet, I really appreciate you considering doing so. It's the perfect price, which is free. And you just have to little tap, and then it is all done. And I appreciate it. All right. So what's going to happen between you and Jason here? Tell me more about this, if you would, please. Okay. Okay. Well, you do have the movement of pentacles, which does show about movement in the outside world, and there is it's about things happen in their seasons, things on the outside world. It's the slowest moving out of all the nights, but there's movement, which is all right. And I asked for clarification on this. I go, what kind of movement is this? And you got the Sky Father, which is the Emperor card, which is about stabilization and um like they're getting control over their life, and there's this structure that's coming into place, so solidity that's happening in the outside world. And then you also had the Earth Mother, so you had Sky Father and Earth Mother, and this is about new birth, new things coming into your life, new harvest. So there is this newness that's going to unfold between the two of you. And you have the Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card. That's coming in here, this one. So there is this beautiful emotion that unfolds, but there's also the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is about this feeling of being above, like, if someone sees you as being in this place that's above them, they might try to bring you down to where they feel they're at. And I kind of feel like it's either maybe this is Jason and you, if they look at you and they're just like, wow, they think like think of themselves lower and you up there, they might say some stuff to kind of like bring you down to where they feel they're at because in their minds they down here, and maybe you feel the difference, and then when they do that you feel like they're trying to push you down, and so that's where some fire and some hissing can happen, right? But if you realize that it's, oh, you do that because you feel you're lower than me, then you can be compassionate and have some um, patience with that, right? Or if it's someone else that, as you guys kind of move into this closer relationship, other people might get jealous. Again, remember that when people speak up or say and do kind of nitpicky, kind of poke at your dream type of things, it's because they feel low, and that it's not personal against you. It's just you happen to be appearing to them that you're above them, and so they don't like that feeling. They want you to come back down and be miserable at their level, not be joyous at a higher level. So I kind of feel like there is this slow movement of things stabilizing, moving towards this new birth, this new kind of energy. Just take care of yourself. That Empress is also about Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. So take care of yourself as things are unfolding, and this kind of wish fulfillment energy around your emotions comes in. But just be aware of those individuals that might be poking at the bear, and just go, okay, that's why they're poking at me, is because it's not so much jealousy as their low self-esteem, and they feel they're lower than you, and you're like, okay, I get it. Boo 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 boo, come here, give them love, give them attention, help raise them up, and that helps them not feel so the need to poke the bear. So that's what they have for you, Rolling Stone babe. Hopefully that resonates there for you. Many blessings to you. Right, Aurora, let's take a look here. You want to know, will YM choose to contact you? So let's take a look here and see. And then Marie Jones, you will be up next. Whoa. You got like a fourth of the deck there. That's not for you. That was just me trying to do two things at the same time, which doesn't always turn out well for me. Actually, I'm going to switch up cards here. I'm going to go to the good tarot here. And then Benita Bala, you'll be next after that. All right. So will YM choose to contact you, Aurora? Let's find out here what they'd like you to know. I don't think that they are, because you got the Ace of Earth, the Ace of Pentacles, which is about new opportunities opening in the outside world. And you also got the Full card, which is ending of old cycles and new beginnings. So I feel like that's old news, and you're moving on to something that's in more alignment with you. You have the Five of Fire too, which is the Five of Wands, which is this movement from where you felt there was conflict before, or kind of some energy around fears of losing conditional love. This just that fearful energy of what does it mean, and that type of thing. But you having this movement of energy too, and I feel like it's because with these new things that come, and with them not being in your life and not contacting you, that you're like, oh, this happened for me. And so it's this movement of like you felt like something was happening to you by them not contacting you, that it was happening for you instead. And you're like, oh, it's like whatever that song, the old country song, I thank God for unanswered prayers. It's like they're like, oh, I wanted to be with them, and then you see them like a year later, and you're like, oh, thank God you didn't answer that prayer. You know, it's like almost kind of like this, okay, I dodged a bullet with that one, or whatever is coming into your life, you're realizing that this person was moved out of your path so that you would have something that's more in alignment with who you are and what you want in your life. So I feel like it's a good thing here, but I don't feel they're going to contact you because there's going to be this new thing that's starting up that's more in alignment with what your heart really wants for your life. So that's what they want for you, Aurora. Very easy breezy answer for you there. So many blessings to you. All right, Marie, let's take a look and see what we've got going on. So you want to be, will you be called for an interview next week and how will it go? So let's take a look. We're going to switch over to the Radiant Rider Waite. And then Benita, you'll be next. And then Catherine, 1111, you'll be next after that. So let's take a look here, Marie. Will you be called for an interview next week? Let's ask that first. What can you let us know about this interview next week? All right. Well, I don't. It's you have a death and a rebirth happening. So regarding this interview, I feel like it's going to be canceled, but there's something else that's going to come in its place because you also have two sixes here, which is about kind of like your path is aligning to something that's more in alignment with where you're going. It's putting you on your path because you have the Six of Swords, which is about the changing of your thoughts and your beliefs and your mindsets. You're moving from rough waters to calmer waters. And the Six of Cups for me is an old job or an old someone from your past or an old wish or an old desire from your past resurfaces. So I feel like this interview with where you have it is like something comes up where you have to cancel or they have to cancel, something like that. But I feel like it's because you have this opportunity that comes up, something that you wanted to do in the past that you always, kind of like either didn't believe you qualified for or felt like it's silly to do that, this is the right thing to do. I should have this type of job. I'm supposed to have this type of job, or this is what, everyone thinks I should do. But you're just like, but my heart, I would love to be like, they're reminding me of my mom. My mom was like, she ended up working in daycares and retail and cleaning and taking care of other people and doing stuff which she's it was okay and she enjoyed it, but her dream was to work in a nursery, like a plant nursery, because she loved plants. So if she could have done that, she'd been like, oh my god, she'd just been like, her whole patio and her house are filled with plants. She just loves them. And I'm like, that's kind of what I feel for you, is that there's this passion of yours that's like you're really looking and going, what are your expectations around what you're supposed to do versus what your heart says I'd love to do. And this is like the week here to really go, you know what? Am I living or am I existing? And it's the difference between the two for you. And I feel like it's like, what are we waiting for? I know a couple of years ago, I worked for a corporation for over 20 years, and I worked in all different levels and departments and everything else. And then COVID hit, and I realized I was existing. I was like, you know what? I could die tomorrow. And what am I going to have wished I would have done in my life? And this is what I love to do. I love sharing spirit and the messages, and I'm like, so I left my job and I went and moved with some friends, and now I'm living with another friend here. And you make a change in your life, but if you're living, you just don't care about all this other stuff. You just start getting rid of all these expectations of supposed to's and shoulds and need to's and have to's. And I feel like you're in this place in your life where you're ready to do that. You're ready to step up and step out, and you're like, I want to do what I love. And I feel like that's what is unfolding for you, Marie. So that's what Spirit has for you right now. So hopefully that resonated. Many blessings to you. All right, Benita, let's take a look here. Excuse me. Oh, very good. So let's take a look here, Benita, and see what are group rates intentions and current feelings towards you. I'm glad that they were very supportive of you when you opened up your heart like that, and I'm sure you were uh, as well as they opened up and talked about their past traumas. Let's take a look here and see what their intentions and current feelings are towards you. What else? Anything else? So the Four of Pentacles here represents that they're on this search, for their own value of their worth as they relate it to the outside world. And they are in the midst of this transformation of their energies from having feeling like they were attacked and there was a lot of conflict, and they're seeing this change of their energy over to more from fear to love in their life in general. And so I feel like they're doing a lot of this beautiful inner reflection, which is changing their thoughts and their expectations. It feels like you both are kind of on this path of connecting to higher truths, these capital T truths that this Ace of Swords allows you to bring in. And you're focusing on cutting away old thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve. So I feel like that um, is kind of what they're focused on. It's almost like if they're in heart surgery, kind of like I talked about earlier, they've kind of everything else blocked off while it's happening here. But I feel it's a positive thing here because I asked them for clarification, and they're like, there's a lot of energy that's coming into your guys' life together, and there is this ending and beginning, but it's a positive change. And I feel like right now the important thing is like this. It's like this foundation of friendship and trust, and that this energy is building between you guys. And I feel like that's because of this energy of the past. It's like I almost feel like when he opened up before, it's like he's in the middle there and he got bam 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 bam. um and so I feel like trust, the building of trust between you two, is the most important thing right now for the relationship between you guys. Yeah. Because there is this beautiful connection, and but they're saying this is like, let this be back here. you know Everything that you guys are doing through, like, this is the important thing here. And they're like, literally, they're like, keep this way back here for now. Work on the trust and work on this foundation with each other, which I know might not be the norm for culture, and I know our society is like, oh no, we go for the love and the commitment and everything first, and then if you guys want to become friends later, but do all this stuff first. And it feels like because of their past, it's important, if you have these feelings towards them, that you want to eventually be, that lover's card, that deeper connection, that it's important to build the trust and allow things to unfold, and not make that the primary goal. That's kind of like would be a benefit that will happen later. It's just like really focus on that friendship and that deepness and that foundation first is what I feel that they are wanting you to know right now. So that's their messages for you, Benita. Many blessings to you. All right, Catherine. Let's take a look here, and you go, can you get a general love reading of what is coming towards you? Absolutely. I feel like I want to go to the Good Tarot. We'll take a look here. And then Angelina, you want to know about your month of November. So you'll be next. And then Janice, thank you for being a subscriber and liking the video. And so all of you, while I'm thinking about it too, thank you for all of you that have already given me a thumbs up on this video. And if you haven't done so already, I really appreciate you considering doing so. It helps the channel out and helps spread the love. So appreciate that. And then Janice, you'll be after Angelina. All right. So Catherine, let's take a look here. General love reading. What would Spirit like you to know right now? What is coming towards you? What else? Okay, anything else? So you've got the King of Water, which would be the King of Cups in the Standard Tarot. And I feel like there is this beautiful energy coming your way because you also have the Four of Fire, which is the Four of Wands. Celebration, joyful feelings that are coming in here, and this balancing of your heart and your mind. And I almost feel like this is an individual that's coming into your life, someone who has this very balanced, um, just a solid emotional and mental. It's like 50-50. They got 50-50. It's like they have they're emotional, but they're also intelligent and solid, and they it brings in this very solid feeling for you with that there, because in addition to that Four of Fire, you also have the Page of Fire, which is about a new passion, a new energy, a new drive. So I do feel like there is someone that comes across your path that just ignites your heart, ignites your emotion, and you're just like, and it ignites your interest. They come into your radar, and you're like, whoosh, who's that? And you're like, wow, that's not what that's not normal, is what I'm hearing. It's like, that's not my norm, or that's you don't see that every day. You're just kind of really impressed and really like, oh. But you also have the Three of Pentacles here, the Three of Earth, which is about you staying true to your authentic path and what's going on. And I feel like you're on this kind of inner journey of finding out what you want in life, and you're really dealing with people fearing that there's these people that blah 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 that always blah 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 blah. You're like, okay, I get it. And then you have people who are supportive and stuff, and they're like, yeah, you should do this, you could do that, you can do that. And you're like, they're the ones that kind of draw you off and like, okay, you're right, I'll do that, because you don't want them to join those other blah 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 people. But I feel like this is a time for you to really understand what it is you want and what you want to do, what your heart is telling you. And if you're like, that's not my norm, and I know these people are going to be like blah 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 blah, and this person's going to go, really? Okay, well, if you want to, but you should probably go on this dating site, or maybe you should go do this. And you're just like, and it's like, don't listen to anyone. You can hear them, you can listen to them, but listen to your heart first and follow your authentic path with love when it's coming up here. You know, just pay attention to red flags. It's not a carnival. But I feel like with this individual, it's going to be so different. It's like not your norm. But it's going to ignite something in you that is different than you've had in the past. And but again, it's like, don't listen to the blah blah blah, and don't even listen to the people that are normally supportive of everything else. um like, oh, you should do this with them then, or oh, you go do this with them. And you're just like, mm-mm. You have like, I want to go, invite them to a monster truck rally or something, and they're like, really? And you're like, it's what I want. And I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm just saying it's such a off the cuff thing that you're just like, but this is what I want to do, and I'm going to go ask them. and you do, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love monster truck rallies. No one ever wants to go with me." And you're just like, "Oh, look at that." It's like that type of thing. Follow your heart and follow your authentic path. Do things you love to do, and I feel like you'll you'll go to that and you'll bump into them, and they're like, "Wow, doing something you love and that's authentic to you is where you bump into them." And I like that. And it's like normally you'd be like, no one would want to do that. It'd be like me going and to a metaphysical fair or something where I'm just like, I never meet anyone there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh hey, and you're just like, wow, there's someone that loves something that I love and you have that bond and something in common. So that's what they have for you, Catherine. So many blessings for you there. Angelina, so you want to know how your November month will be? I don't think we already did that one, did we? Well, we did any blessings coming for you for the rest of the year. Um, so we know that you're going to have a lot of blessings, but let's see what comes in November for you. And then Janice will be up, and then Kayla B. All right, let's take a look here. So, Angelina, what would they like you to know about the rest of November? Okay. What else? So, you do have the moon card here, which is a beautiful card about the unknown, the hidden, connecting to the moon cycles too. So, I really feel in November it's important to pay attention to both the new and the full moon cycles. And we do have a new moon coming up here to everyone here in a couple days. And so I'll be talking either tomorrow or Tuesday when I go live about how we can do new moon wishes. And so, Angelina, I really feel like just pay attention during those months. And I believe you follow my weekly energy updates, which where I talk about the new moon that's coming up, what kind of new moon wishes will be most powerful based on the themes of that sign, and also for full moons, how you can do kind of this awareness around things and releasing of things around a full moon. And I feel like that energy in November is going to be very, very powerful for you. Because you also have the Four of Air, which is the Four of Swords, which is about peace of mind. And I feel like you really have this wonderful awarenesses that come very powerful for you in November. Because you also have the Temptation card, which is like the shadow card, which is about rattling your thoughts and your beliefs and your mindsets, how whatever type of beliefs you have about yourself and others that feels restrictive and like you're caged and chained and trapped by things, this happens during November. Rattle, 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 and you know your beliefs about certain things are challenged to where you take time to look at it and take time to reflect on it. And that's kind of that moon energy too, how you look into your unconscious and your subconscious. So I feel like at least in one area of your life around one kind of thought and belief that's pretty significant for you, you look at it and you're like, why do I feel that way? What's going on with that? And you do that and you go into it. And then that with that Four of Swords, you release things, you cut away thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you. You're like, yeah, why do I feel that? Why do I think that? And you really look at it and you're like, oh, you know what it is? It's when that happened when I was younger. And that kind of just has been echoing all these years. And now I'm cutting it off. Now that I understand it and I felt it and I'm transforming it, it won't be something that restricts me and makes me feel that way anymore. And I feel that kind of helps with your blessings that come for the rest of the year too. But there's this empowerment that is coming for you for this rest of this year. And I do like that for you. So that's what they have for you for November, Angelina. Many blessings. All right, Janice, you are up. Need like a love reading till the end of the year and you're single. Okay. So let's take a look here. I'm going to switch back to the Naked Heart Tarot and let's see what we got going on there. But next up will be Kayla and then Dune after that. And then Lisa. All right. So let's take a look here and see what we've got going on here. So, love for the rest of the year for Janice. What would you like her to know, please? Janice to know. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay, let's see what these are here. Uh-oh. Well, you got the Hanged Man here, which this is about, you know, patience and time. You're in a holding pattern right now, but you're in this cocoon. I almost feel like this is like, you know, when things are loading, it's like 10%, 20%, 30%. It's like loading, loading, loading. But you are in this cocoon, you're in this evaluation period and looking at things because you are going through this death and rebirth within yourself for the rest of this year, which is really only 2 months, right? 8 weeks, 9 weeks. But you are doing this reevaluation and looking into how you feel about things and who you are. Because, you know, when I was talking about like a cocoon and thing, here you go. Here's it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. Butterfly. This is death and rebirth in a way too. It's the double endings, double new beginnings with an X and an X. But this is about you also discovering you're so much more than the human side of you. And it's like you're a calling from your higher self to see things from that higher perspective, see things from up here, right? So I love that you have the cocoon that's loading, 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 and here comes the butterfly loading, loading, loading. So I feel like you know, over these next 8 or 9 weeks is when you're really doing a lot of clearing of things because you also have the Ten of Swords, which the rat is not dead. These are all the expectations that you had on yourself and relationships and your world. And it has exhausted you trying to live up to all those expectations and trying to make everyone else live up to those expectations, right? And so you've been doing it, investing a lot of energy in that, and you're just like, done. I'm just sick and tired of doing what I always did and getting what I always got. And that's why you're doing this reevaluation because you're just like, I need a makeover of my heart and of my life. And so it's endings and new beginnings all over the place because that Ten of Swords is about that. The Judgment card, double endings and double new beginnings. Death card, endings and new beginnings. And the Hanged Man is about, yeah, hanging in there and you're patient as you're going through this process where that caterpillar turns into the caterpillar juice and lets old ways uh, of its life go because it doesn't want to crawl on the ground anymore. It wants to fly and flutter. And so that's what you're going through between now and the end of the year is this makeover from a caterpillar to a beautiful butterfly. And you are just releasing a lot of this old thoughts and beliefs about who you are supposed to be, who someone else is supposed to be, how a relationship is supposed to unfold and come together and be. And you're just taking a lot of stuff off the table, this cluttered, huge, long dinner table. And you're just taking stuff and you're selectively putting back on what you know you want um, to be part of your definition and who you want to be going forward. You're being selective of what you put back on that table. So I feel like you're just going through this huge transformation, and it's beautiful because when we did what we always did, we get what we always got, and you're have had enough of that. So I love where you're headed, Janice. I'm excited to see the beautiful butterfly wings that you come up with. So many blessings to you. All right. So Caleb B, you want to know, what does Herman feel about you? Herman. Let's take a look here, and then Dune and Lisa, you'll be next. Okay. Anything else? What about Herman? How does Herman feel about Kayla? Well, that's a good sign here. I mean, there's the 10 of cups, which is about emotional fulfillment and feeling whole and complete. It's normally it's like a rainbow with people standing below it, and so he does have this idea of like, wow, it's someone who has all this stuff that would make a great life with. And then you hear the Jaws theme, da dun, da dun, and the raccoon. So you have the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords. And the Five of Swords represents like conflict of thoughts and beliefs and expectations. And the Seven of Swords represents his own thoughts and beliefs that are stealing joy and stealing opportunity out of his life. So I feel like there are, he's a pretty much a stubborn individual. He's got these beliefs that are like, mm-mm, this is right, and so he has a lot of conflict with trying to prove that his opinion, his small t truths, are more true than other people's small t truths. And it's just these couple things that he holds on to. A lot of other stuff he's okay, and like, oh, it didn't matter, but there's these things that he's so adamant about that it he gets into arguments with people, or he just always on the soapbox about it, which kind of brings in this, brings in the fog, all this bright and shininess, and then this fog comes in. It overshadows, those things, because he's got these strong beliefs, and that's what are stealing his joy away. It's because he's so attached to these. But he's working on it. The 5 and the 7 do show that these things are being brought up to his face, because think of like even number cards of being like, let's say a 6. You've got 3 on each side. There's this beautiful flow of life and things are movement. But whenever you have an odd number like a 3, a 5, or a 7, it's like, especially with a 6 to a 7, you've got 3 on each side, and then thump right there in the middle, blocking the flow is this thing that will not move, and it's in their face, and they are it's being presented to them. So whatever this belief and this thought and whatever that they're so adamant about and so attached to about they're supposed to and they should and they need to, it's like boom, 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 knocking them in the head. They're like keep on bumping into it and they can't get around it because they're walled in, and it's the universe, it's their higher self going, you ain't getting around this. This is what it's going to be. And it's okay, because we have the full card. They're reaching a place where they're going to be leaving behind old cycles and beginning a new adventure. So they do have this freedom coming. It's eventually after bumping their stubborn head against the wall enough, they're going to go, what is that? Why is this wall in front of me? And then it gets released, and then things get to move forward with that, and they get to see it from a different perspective. So that is what they have for you. So hopefully that resonated and made sense there for you. All right. So let's take a look here. And so, Dune, you are up next here, and you want to know, how will your career in 2023 look like? Love it. Let's take a look here. We'll look into the Radiant Rider Waite and see what they have to say. Then Lisa, you'll be next. And then Serbi Kaur. Okay, so your name is Amar Deep. Amar Deep. So you'll be next. All right. And then Sarita. All right. So let's take a look here. So, Dune, how will your career in 2023 look like? Anything else? All right. So you do have the Nine of Pentacles here. And the Nine of Pentacles is a great card because, of course, it's Pentacles, it's the outside world. It is abundance, it is fullness, it is completeness. The nine, though, is about you finding this worth within. And of course, you're never alone. You've got spirit that's always there, represented by the bird. So you are in this journey of finding something that's fulfilling for you, not just like money. It's like you're redefining what success means to you because you also have the Seven of Swords, which is about your thoughts and your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, expectations, all that mental stuff. You're already leaving behind a couple of your thoughts and your beliefs, but you have an armful of other things that you're really working through because you also have both the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords. So a lot on your mind. I feel like a lot of this is in like the first quarter of the year where you're really understanding what it is you truly want and what you don't want because you're seeking higher truth, you're seeking higher understanding, and those aces of swords that both of those have are what help you cut away, thoughts and beliefs and attitudes you have about your abilities. Again, what does success really mean? And why do I feel that? Is it a dollar amount that means I'm successful? No. What does it mean to me to be successful? And I feel like this is what happens. And that's what brings in this because I feel with this Three of Wands, this is about you changing direction. Like, uh, normally, like when you get the Ace of Wands, it's a new passion and something that inspires you. And so you want to go do something, you want to invest this energy somewhere. And then the Two of Wands is about you kind of making plans and decisions of these are the steps I'm going to take, and you start taking steps to get there. But through the process, you have new information come in, which is what all of these knights are all about. I'm sorry, all these swords are all about. You have all this new ideas, this new understanding that comes in, which is all about what this means to you. What does it mean for me to be successful and feel this wholeness and this completeness? And then whoosh, you have reached the shore and you're making plans to alter your course to do something that's in more alignment with what you feel success means in your life, not all those thoughts and those beliefs and those mindsets from everyone else, the society and the world and family and friends and TV and movies, whatever, all that stuff that was plugged in about what success means. You're doing this brain dissection of all of that, and you're deciding what you want to do and where you want to head instead. And so you have this alteration of your career choices in 2023, something that is in more in alignment with makes your heart sing and makes you feel truly successful, not outwardly successful. Like you feel success from the inside. So I love that for you, Dune. Living more your authentic life. And I like that. All right. So many blessings for you, Dune. That's what they have for you. And then Lisa, you'd like spiritual messages. So let's take a look here. So let's take a look. What would Spirit like you to know? Anything else? Okay. All right. So you also have a lot on your mind. I shuffled these. You've got the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords. So you do have this um, thoughts and beliefs and mindsets about your worth, especially because you have the Four of Pentacles coming in here. And Spirit is saying that there have been these situations that have been coming across your life, like for a while, but especially since like January up to now of this year, where it just keeps on coming in, all these challenges about who you are and how you relate your worth to the world, and just all this stuff. And it's like relationships, work, job, education. It's like all these different areas, your body, your possessions, your bank account. It's like all this stuff keeps on coming in, and you're like, all right, I see it. And you have been looking at going, having this beautiful journey of, who am I? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What does that mean? Does that mean anything about me? I mean, you've been really doing a lot of your mental kind of reviews of things, because the Four of Pentacles is the beautiful journey of realizing that when we look outside of ourselves for our worth, we feel unstable. Relationships, it's like the three areas are relationships, situations, and things. So relationships, of course, they're unstable because people change or people pass away, so they're not stable. Uh, Situations never stay the same, like work, career, education, social status, just kind of circumstances and stuff we get into, always changing, right? And then our body, possessions, a bank account, all that stuff breaks down, deteriorates, blows up, catches on fire, stolen. And so we realize like all these things that we were basing our worth on are unstable. And that's why we were feeling unstable. That's why we feel rocked all over the place and felt like all these arrows are being fired at us. And what's great is you realize, oh, that's retail price out there in the outside world. That's constantly fluctuating. Depends on where you're at in the world, what season it is, and who the person is, depending on what worth you have to them. And it's like, I want something more solid for that. And now you're turning inward and upward to find that. Because when we get disappointed enough in the outside world, we do find within our heart, upward, that there is something that is eternal, which is very solid, right? It's always going to be there. And it's unconditional, meaning no conditions at all. And it's the unconditional love of the higher realms. And we allow that to become the foundation of our worth and who we are. Nothing we can do to lose it. It's eternal and forever, a very stable, solid foundation. And I feel like this is what's going on for you right now. And what Spirit is allowing you to see is that when you look outside of yourself, that equals instability and disappointment. And it's okay. We came down here for that. We went on that journey so we don't beat up ourselves for looking out there and doing that. It's the adventure we came here for. But when we're tired of it, when we want a different choice, we have it all available, but it's in and up that we do with that. So that is what message Spirit has for you, Lisa. So many blessings for you on that beautiful adventure. So I love it. All right. So Serbi Kaur or MR Deep, you say, is your grandmother okay? You're having a very bad feeling for her. Okay, let's take a look here and see what Spirit would like you to know around them. And I am approaching 2 hours, which is my last call for my energy because I have to recharge my battery. So I'm gonna probably this will be the last reading that I'll do for this session. I will be back tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain, which is in about 7 hours. But if you need something more immediately, please check out my playlist. I have weekly energy update videos, which are by individual zodiac sign, monthly readings by zodiac sign, pick a cards. I just put out a Scorpio pick a card reading for the Scorpio season that starts today. So a lot of other resources that are also free that if you go check those out, I guarantee you, if you follow your heart and your gut, you'll be drawn to the video that has your answer that you need right now. So please be sure to check that out. And thank you guys so much for giving me a thumbs up on the videos here. If you haven't done so already, now's a great time to do that. It does help out the channel and help spread the love to the world. And I appreciate you guys so, so much. And I feel so honored being able to bring messages for you. All right. So let's take a look here and see, how's your grandmother doing? Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Okay. So it's good. We've got Empress cards. So Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. She's taking care of herself. There's uh, a nice newness around her there. So you got the three, and then you have the Three of Wands too. It just feels like she's changing directions in her life, and there's just, if there are health issues, she's getting them taken care of. Things are unfolding there. You have the Seven, which is movement, and but it's victory as well, and it's all about power of choice. And so she is, making sure she's taking care of herself, and just know that she is choosing what she wants to go through and what she wants to experience and what she wants to feel. Kind of feel like she's a stubborn little old lady that, doesn't give up easy, one, but she's not going to allow anyone to do anything that she doesn't want to happen. And so she's like very strong, very strong-willed. And when she's ready to go, no one's going to stop her. But when she's not ready to go, no one's going to make her either. So just send her a lot of love from your heart. And so whenever you feel that feeling, one of the great things that we can do is when, especially if we're on the other side of the world, or if someone's in a situation where we feel we can't do anything for them, our heart kind of aches because our compassion and our soul love energy is activated, where it wants to do something, it wants to have action. And when we can do something in the physical world to help people, that's how the love flows out of our heart, and it doesn't feel tight when we're able to do something. But when we don't feel like we can do anything in the physical world, it's like a garden hose that's on full blast, but the nozzle's turned off. You know how the hose gets tighter and tighter and tighter as the pressure's building up. Well, that's what happens in our soul heart when it wants to express love and we're not doing anything about it because we don't feel like we can, but we can. The thing that we can do if we can't help in the physical world is take a deep breath and just picture them in our mind's eye and just send the love to them and to see the love surround them. And even if that person is stubborn and you're like, well, they wouldn't want to accept my love, their higher self, that spiritual being behind this character we're interacting with, they will always accept the love. And they're just like, just send it to me. So just send it to their higher self, and their higher self will use that love for what they want to experience in this life. And that helps us feel free and feel open with that. So that's for you, MR Deep, and for anyone else, because we all go through that. I can guarantee it. So I love it. So much blessings to all of you. Again, I wish I could get down to all of you guys. Oh my goodness. Um, but again, I'll be back 7 p.m. every single night, Sunday through Friday. Saturdays I'm at 8 p.m. And then on Friday and Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Mountain, and then of course on Sundays 10 a.m. Mountain. So I'm on a ton. The earlier you get when I start, the more likely I can get to you guys. I usually stay on at least 2 hours, but I have to stay balanced because Spirit uh, checked me because I was on one night for 4 hours, and they were like, dude, if you're going to burn yourself out, you're not going to be here to do any readings if you don't balance. And of course, I put out a lot of recorded readings, as well. So, check those out. In fact, let me repost. We got the Scorpio season, pick a card, that just came out. Let me just put that down there. And then also yesterday, I put out the new um, October weekly energy updates for this next week. And that is those there too. So, check any of those out in any of my playlists. Follow your heart, follow your gut. Spirit has messages there for you. And please know, I fight the guilt of not being able to get to everyone because my heart does want to help you all, and I send you all much love. Please hang in there and know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the mother and the father of all things. I love you guys too. I wish I could be on here 24/7 doing readings for everyone. But just know that there are resources. So check those out. I do offer personal readings too. So if you have urgent needs, all that information is listed in the description box below too. So you can always also reserve a personal reading. There's a slight cost for those, but they're my recorded ones are on a sliding price scale, so you can choose between three different prices for each of the time periods to choose one that's in alignment for where you're at in your life. So if you have something where I want a reading and I can't get one because I can't do that, you can always do that too if it's resonates with you guys. So love you so much. Hang in there until we meet again. Please take care of yourself and you hang in there and have a great rest of your day or have a good night's sleep wherever you're at in the world. And you guys take care. Bye bye.